In this video we're going to make a quick and easy madras curry. So the ingredients I've chosen is some carrots, peppers, celery, we've got a madras cooking sauce and then some beef which I've just fried in some butter and with some madras spices and of course some Old Bay because everything tastes better with Old Bay. So that is cooked off in the skillet for 10-15 minutes, and now we're going to put it in the pressure cooker, chop up the veg and put that in as well. Don't have to cook the veg, and then just top it off with the cooking sauce, splash of water, and then onto the hob for probably 10-15 minutes, and that should be done. Here we are, all the vegetables are nicely diced, quite rough diced. Also added an onion in there. They're ready to go into the pot. Before we do that, I just wanted to say this recipe is really good as well because all of these vegetables you can grow yourself. So if you've got a garden or an allotment, these are all really easy vegetables to grow. So you've got carrots, celery, peppers and onions. These are sweet peppers, and again something that I've always thought was a bit strange. Why is it that with hot peppers or chilies you can leave the seeds in, but with sweet peppers everyone cuts the seeds out? It's probably just because there's lots of them and you don't want to eat loads of little bits, but it definitely makes me less bothered when I leave a few seeds in. So I'll put them in the pot and then we'll get them on the stove. And thanks to the miracle that is the TV cutaway, we have all the ingredients in the pot ready to put the lid on. So for those of you that don't really understand pressure cookers or haven't used one or just are learning about them, you put the lid on and it locks on. These have special clips that kind of keep the lid on when the pressure builds up. You have a weight on the top, which is basically a kind of a jet, a bit like in a carburetor. You've got a needle in the middle, and then in the bottom of this tube you've got a seat, and the needle is held down by the weight. The weight can move up and down a little bit, and when the pressure is high enough it will actually lift the jet out of the seat. The weight will lift up and then the steam will be able to come out. So the idea with this is this weight is a certain number of ounces, and the higher the weight, the higher the pressure. So this is set for about, I think, 12 or 14 psi. So quite a bit more than standard atmospheric pressure, and that just allows the heat to get beyond boiling. So if you're just making a stew in a normal pot, the heat would go into the water would get up to 100 degrees or thereabouts, centigrade that is, and you would essentially just boil your vegetables and meat until they were cooked to your liking. Whereas with a pressure cooker, the steam can't escape, or it can once it reaches a certain pressure, but by pressurizing this vessel, the water boils at a higher temperature, and the pressure as well pushes the moisture into the meat, so you actually get a much more tender and sort of moist meat when you're cooking with a pressure cooker. It also pushes the flavours in a little bit as well. So this is a pressure release valve that will pull up when the pressure cooker is up to pressure. So the main thing is put it on as big a hob or as big a gas as you've got until you've reached the pressure where the steam's coming out, and then once you've done that, onto the small hob and just maintain that pressure. So let's start that up now. So which one is it? It's that one. There we go, nice big flame. That will probably take maybe 7 to 10 minutes to get up to pressure. Now you can help that along by sort of lifting that temporarily, and that will allow the pressure to build up a bit, because essentially that sits down allowing steam to come out, but once it starts to really boil that will then shoot up and maintain the pressure until the weight starts to lift. Alright, we'll come back when that's well cooked really. It isn't cooked yet, but I just wanted to show what's going on at the moment. So we've had the gas on full blast, and you can hear that hissing noise, and you can see that the little valve is actually up. So we're up to pressure. That means that we can actually move it onto the smaller ring. So now that it's on the smaller ring, we can take advantage of the next thing about pressure cookers, which is that you can have a lot of heat from a very small amount of energy. So that's the big ring to start it off, but you're only on there for a few minutes, and then you're onto this one, just really gentle, and you can hear the hissing. It's still there, but it's just a little bit quieter, so that one is turned up a bit. But yeah, so now it will just continue cooking at this point for maybe 10-15 minutes. There we go, it's 15 minutes later. We've taken the lid off and we have our Madras curry. So we've got nice big chunks of meat, veg, and the sauce. Well, I think the sauce looks a little bit thin at the moment, so I might just continue to cook it with the lid off for a few more minutes whilst the accompaniment cooks. And what we've got with this curry is a British classic, which is chips or fries in America. So these are the big thick steak cut ones, and they're just cooking in my air fryer. There we have it. We have our Madras curry cooked in the pressure cooker, and it's all reduced down. I just boiled it for a little bit more on the stove just to take some of the water out. And we've got our air fryer chips, nice big chunky ones, and they've been cooked in the air fryer with a bit of Old Bay hot seasoning, and those are just served like that. We have a couple of bowls and the chips. Doesn't get any better. Thanks for watching.